Maybe maybe the invention of this cell phone actually saved us during this pandemic for us being able to stay home.
Maybe that was really what it was meant to be. Like, honestly, I don't know how people would have survived without phones and technology through this
A
era.
pandemic through this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I mean,
Through
like
this
this
one, but the
whole
last one they did it a number of times.
last one. Wait, what do you mean?
Well, there's been a few different flus, but like
Oh, right.
this one, like, because it's still a flu, right? It's still, so we don't. I don't read books on COVID or whatever. I watch what comes up on CDC for.
Yeah.
But then again, I like hearing from people, but it's but like if we didn't have phones, then well, we're also so connected now to like the air industry, like the flights and stuff, like that's so much bigger than it was. Because when was the last like big outbreak? I mean, I know there was mad cow disease in Toronto. There was
But this is like the first thing. Like, I think I read it was an article or something or a video where like it was like a 90-year-old lady saying like I've never seen anything like this in my entire century length of life. Um and I think it's also interesting how like this whole people having access to phones and all these technology like Zoom calls and whatnot is what actually gave birth to this pandemic culture. You know what I mean? There's definitely a culture to this. I feel like people started doing events on Zoom and like how we're talking right now on Zoom, and
yeah.
like people are throwing online parties, although it's not as, fun probably as a real
I know.
party.
But when this started, I remember my friends, like there was like a few apps that came out for like online parties, and they're like, "Hey, we're all getting turned on this app at this time," because we're all around the world by then, right? No one was really together. I was all the way back in Canada, but they were out here. But it was kind of cool. There was like games on the app, so you could like still interact. It's like it'd be like boozing and playing like Xbox all night. That could be fun.
I have I've never boozed and played Xbox all night. I don't know if I'm missing out. Am I missing out?
Have you ever boozed?
I've been boozed. I mean, like hammered.
Yes.
Yeah, that definitely, yes.
Have you played
Regrettably.
Xbox?
No, I have not played an Xbox. Nor have I
PlayStation?
played it. No, I'm not. The
Really?
only console that I've ever owned
Nintendo
was
60?
a DS, like the Nintendo DS, and the old one, like the super thick one, one of those
Yeah,
ones.
I had the white one. Did you have a
No,
white
I
one?
had a red one because I was like a spasty kid. I was
Oh,
like, I need a red DS. It has
like
to be
we're
red.
talking before the camera was installed, right?
Yes. And when the new DS came out with a camera, I was like, what the hell is going on
That
with
had
the
a camera
camera?
to this thing. The
Records
best thing
and
was the little, the little because it's a Nintendo DS, right? So I think it's a Nintendo thing. It's like the little DS world that you could go in. It's like a chat room for any people on the DS around you. Remember
oh,
that?
I wasn't as I don't know if it was just my Nintendo, but my Nintendo wasn't as advanced as
No,
it probably was.
they
Like
was.
it couldn't
I had
connect to
like one of the
Wi-Fi or
first
anything.
generation DSs. No, it wasn't. It was like a satellite signal, almost like a
Oh,
Bluetooth. That it was like it emitted itself, and that's how you were able. Like I think you still had to be close, but let's say you're in a hockey rink and someone else is playing a DS, you could open up a chat and talk to them
they
because you were
had
close
games
enough.
like those, like like Mario Kart. I remember, like, if one person owned Mario Kart, you can play
Mm-hmm.
it with people who didn't even own Mario Kart because it would like somehow connect two devices together.
I feel like I remember this conversation. I feel like I remember being on the park, confused as shit, with people like, wait a second, I don't need to have the game, but since you have it, we can still play it.
Apparently,
Then
game
then they
companies
realized
took it away because it's obviously not as lucrative as two people
everybody
buying the
owning the
same
game.
game. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Most of the time, but that was really the only console that I've owned. Oh, actually, I've owned one of those portable PlayStation, uh, like the PSPs. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's
Yeah.
like really old ones.
I think I have one in my room actually. It's the we had. I mean, you had Harry Potter. We had the DVD version of Spider-Man 2. It was like the Amazing Spider-Man. What else? What are the games? Some like They were cool. The little disc. Honest to God, PSP was
Yes,
like
the mini
invented
discs.
before its time. The mini discs. If they would have, if PlayStation released a console like that right now, they would go like, look how great the Nintendo Switch is doing, right? And honestly, like, because I'm a huge Zelda fan, so like I play Breath of the Wild on repeat. I wish, you know, I on the Wii you could get like, you know, Ocarina of Time and stuff too, which was always fun, but they don't have the games that, you know, PlayStation has, which I wish they did, because I would totally like, I would love to play COD on little device, you know, and like and travel with it, you know.
What's COD?
Call of Duty.
Oh, is it the shooting game?
It's like a war game. It's like a war game. Yeah,
Oh.
It's a fun game. Like Black Ops is probably my favorite game, other than the Zelda series. Do you know the Zelda series?
Yes, I do know the dude in the green suit.
Yeah, the dude in the green suit.
But
He's
isn't
badass.
it like what's interesting about Zelda, isn't it like they have loads of characters from like different
Sorry.
they have like loads of different characters from like different stories, and they have like Mario appearing? Maybe that's something else. Does Mario appear in Zelda?
No.
Okay.
You're talking Smash Bros. You're talking
Okay,
Smash Bros.
yeah. Maybe that's it. Like where they basically smash all the
they hit each other. Yeah, it's like you can pick your Nintendo character and go at war with another Nintendo character. Like you can play Bowser versus
Pete, I don't know, like
Link.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah. Kirby or something. Yeah.
I love Kirby. She's
cute. She's a cutie.
She's good. Yeah, she's like one of the best ones.
She's like my spirit animal, because like she eats anything.
Anything. And then once in a while she can turn into what she eats, which is kind of what
I'd love to turn into what I eat.
A taco?
Yeah, or like, I don't know, I'd love to be a hamburger, like just sit there and just be a hamburger. I want to just like not think and just be a hamburger just sitting there.
Not a hamburger at a McDonald's.
No, like that's disgusting.
But a hamburger. But like
Not
at a fun like summertime barbecue,
Yeah.
while the sun's out, everyone's in the pool.
And they're not actually
the
touching
beach.
the hamburgers. It's just sitting there chilling with other people, like next to a beer or something.
Hey,
Yeah,
it's like a
that's
Family
the
Guy
dream.
skit.
That's the
Hey,
dreams.
yeah, are you doing? You know, yeah, that
I
would
miss
be
the
fun.
beaches. That makes me like hamburgers, like one of those like handmade hamburgers that reminds me of like beaches for some reason, like beach holidays. That's beer and hamburgers. I don't know why. Maybe that's like my go-to holiday food. But man, I miss the beaches.
I miss the beaches too.
Yeah.
I miss going out. I miss like, you know, I'm not a big like clubber, but I do miss going to like a bar and like pool tables and
hanging
just
out
being
with friends. Yeah.
like, live music and like, you know, I miss like.
We'll get there. Sure, we'll
Yeah,
get there. I mean, like, I don't think people are gonna be able to hold on to this, like, hold much longer in this state. Like, I feel like there's gotta be some point where people just break, and it's like, okay, we've had enough. We need to like really figure this shit out, and I feel like people are starting to figure this out. Like Australia now, they have zero what is it zero COVID people.
Well,
That's not.
I don't know what Australia is doing, because that sounds like awesome. But I know like Canada, like back home, like the province next to us, they only have like 45 cases, and then which is like not.
That's pretty
that's
good.
not a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Like, I'm in LA right now, but I mean it's a small province, and so out LA, it's like, you know, it grows by like I think like the thousands a day. But the thing is that you know, it's just sad to see so many people, like, you know, a year of your life, like that's a year of your life. You know, that's like, there's so many memories, there's so much experience, so much growth. You know, you grow in a year. You know, you can grow, you can deteriorate in a year, but you know, you want people to have, you know, a strong sense of purpose, but you want people to, you know, a lot of what shaped me growing up is what I did with my friends outside, and you know, the way that, you know, like just going to a hockey game, the way, like, you know, going to a school and being able to mess around with your friends during recess, because that was the best time. Recess was always the best time. And and play sports or play street games or, chess matches. And it's like, yes, you can do these on a screen, but it's not the same as like being able to interact with a person. And I hope that, I hope if there's something really good that comes out of it, maybe people realize like, oh wait, like, being home isn't always the best thing. Like, going out, pushing yourself to go out, go do some things, like make sure you're making memories, yeah.
Yeah, no,
For
I
me,
completely get it. It's like I recently talked to Soyeon, who was a costume designer for Julie and the Phantoms, and
yeah,
she told me her kids are doing her kids who are in kindergarten are doing remote classes, like on screen, like Zoom classes. It's like kindergartners, they're supposed to be outside playing with kids, playing with their peers and just like having fun and, messing with sand and getting all dirty and like all, playing around, like just rolling in dirt. And they're sitting
yeah,
there staring into the screens all
a
day.
screen. Like, look, I'm here. Now I'm not. It's a screen. It's just so skinny. It's like there's nobody. Because we do a lot of our interviews and a lot of our things on here, like
Yes.
just like this room that we're doing now, and I find myself talking to a screen a lot. And then once in a while, my brain like clicks, and it's like, wait a second, I'm just talking to like I feel because I'm talking to you, but in reality, I'm sitting in my
We're not
bedroom talking to
really.
a
This might as well
device.
just
Like,
be a phone call, like, because look, this is weird because I've actually had the same thought where I consider body language a very important element in communication and talking with people.
okay,
And for me, eye contact is really important. Like for me, I don't feel like I'm talking to a person if I'm not having eye contact. And this is a weird situation because I'm actually, from my perspective, I'm having eye contact with you. But from the way you see the screen, I'm not actually, it doesn't appear that like, I'm looking at you. Like, this is the only way that it look from your
it looks
perspective,
like
it looks like I'm
yeah,
talking to you, but
yeah.
if I do this, then I'm not actually looking at your eyes. So it's like it's a weird paradox. It's weird.
In so many interviews, that's what they tell us. They're like, "Oh, you can't look at the people that you're interviewing. You have to look in the camera so
Yeah,
that
it's weird.
you give that sense." And I'm like, and it was really hard. And also, I mean, I wish that in FaceTimes and Zooms and whatever way that you do this, I wish I could take my icon and remove it because I find myself like you never have a conversation and look at yourself so much, but I keep on looking upwards, just like, oh, how am I positioned? And you like position. It's like I don't want to do that. I don't really give a rat's ass like how I'm like sitting or whatever there. I'll have a conversation, but because it's there, I keep on looking at this little thing, you
Yeah, yeah.
know?
It's a human nature. It's like like it's like a mirror. If you see a mirror, you have to look into it, unless you're
You
like a
kind of look
maniac
in.
or something. It's
Yeah.
it's just like it's there. You have to look at it. It's a weird thing, but um yeah, I don't think I'm gonna miss this element of I've always been a room hermit. I'm probably like a little bit different from you where I I'm like I'm a hermit. And so I like spending time with myself and I actually do have fun with myself a lot of times. I do get lonely at times, but I feel like I'm at
Yeah.
my most comfortable place when I'm alone and spending time with myself and thinking. But I also love talking with people and just like spilling our brains out. But this isn't really the ideal way that I would want to have a conversation with people. It's
I
not ideal.
find, I'm gonna say, like, look, I love like kicking back just like anybody else too. Like, I can spend a lot of time by myself. I love hiking, which is just isolation in the woods,
Hiking's
and
lovely.
it's beautiful. It's the one of the best pastimes because it's like when people are like, I'm shit at texting, and when people are being like you didn't answer me, I'm like, well, I'm actually in the woods with no service for 3 days. So you know what? I'm not gonna be on this
Three
device.
days.
Yeah. Oh
Is
my
there
God,
like a
we had the
full-on
best time.
hiker? It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like a 3-hour hike or something. It's like a full-on like
No,
tent
I love
in
3 hour
water.
hikes. So don't get me wrong. I'll go like during the weekdays. Like I'll hit up like the Griffith Park up here and then go hiking for a few hours and then come back. I love just short hikes too. But have you
I've
ever
never
done like
been. No, I've never been
overnight?
like a
at all?
No, I'm scared, but I would love to try it one day, but I
Do
don't
it with
like.
friends. It is
Okay.
scary by
Yeah,
yourself,
I don't think I'm
especially
gonna
for
be
the
able
first
to
time.
do
Yeah.
it. No.
I wish I had my gear. It's all in my hockey bag in the garage, but yeah, no, like you have everything. You have your kitchen. It's one of the most fulfilling things. And then also you start discovering things like when we would, like I find like I eat to eat, right? Like, it's I have breakfast in the morning, then I have lunch, and then I have supper, and then but when you're out there, you're eating in the morning, then you hike for a while, and then you start getting like tired, right? So you sit down and you'll have another meal, but that next meal, it's like you just woke up again. You get this boost of energy to go again. And it's like there's this one time we were coming back and we had to cross this river because we have like these massive tides back home. It can get up to 50 feet high. And so except where we were at was probably like more like maybe 10 feet. So basically half the day you can walk on the bottom surface of the ocean, and then the other half of the day you can canoe 50 feet above the water,
Nice.
50 or 40 feet. It's really, really cool. So we had to cross this river to make sure that we get to the other side so that, we can continue our hike, because if you miss it, then you're stuck at this spot for
For
like
the
12
next,
hours
yeah.
before for the tide to go back down.
Yeah.
And so we crossed it, but there was no campsite. It was either we go back across and camp there or we continue. And so we decided, well, screw this. Like, let's look at the map. It was far. It was really, really far. And we just finished a full day of hiking. Like we were ready to camp, right? And so screw it. Let's just do it. So we had a quick meal, boosted energy, and got all the way to this brook. It wasn't even a campsite listed. It was this little brook in the middle of the woods. And because it was so there was such a it was so like deep in the ground where it was coming through, there was like this mist that just covered the entire place. And so we had our own little campsite with a bonfire pit, and then a brook right next to us to like shower, eat, and like clean up. And it was the most peaceful thing. I've had a few really peaceful sleeps, but it's got to be one of the most rewarding like days of like my life. I think this year, or my life, not this year, not my life, but it was really cool. And anyways, no, I think everybody should do it. You connect to like more. You connect to more of
Yes. I
who you
think
are.
that's this I promise you this is in relation to, what you just talked about, spending time in nature, but do you consider yourself like mentally stable? Like mentally like stable. I think that's really the only way I can best describe
I
it.
don't know if you want the answer to that.
I mean, just like self-assessing, do you think you're mentally good in a good state? Do you think?
like that's a huge question
It
to
is,
ask. I
but
mean,
like
there's
in
so many different
general,
states.
generally speaking, if I got the same question, I would say like I'm generally kind of depressed. It doesn't
Oh,
seem like it, but I'm kind of like depressed most of the time. I don't mean this to be like, oh, like, I'm sorry or anything like that. But like the point I was trying to get to is I think
how
there's something in how you phrased it just now. Spending time in nature really kind of there's something in it that kind of puts you back into that kind of primal, like, human state
Mhm,
where it
mhm,
humbles you, not only humbles you, but it also, like, kind of almost resets your human state, all the mental deterioration that you got from social media, all the screen time, all the,
yeah,
all the bullshit of society that you got and is kind of letting it ruin your mentality. It
mhm,
all kind of resets when you spend time away from all that and in the nature. And I feel like maybe that's something that's missing with people like myself, like bedroom musicians or producers or artists who are spending the majority of their times in their indoors in their studios or in their rooms, where they're just not exposed enough to these kind of humbling elements of nature, if that makes sense.
I, I'll answer you. So it's look. I think I think there's a lot of people. I think everybody in the world has deals with some sort of anxiety. We all get these feelings that you're not good enough, that you're not working hard enough, that what you're doing isn't enough, and that you should be doing more, even though you can't. You should be doing more. You should be, and the way that I deal with it is like a lot through like physical exercise. I find I find when I stop doing like running, gym, hikes, is when I really start getting in my head. Maybe it's because I wouldn't say it's because I have more time in my head, because when I hike, all I have is my thoughts. But it's, you know, this compression, you know, like, it's like my body, you know, is able to deal with those emotions through the physical exercise, and it just like it pushes them out, and so I'm more like capable of thinking just, you know, just straight, and so I'm not too worried. Or and I find when I get in these routines, also when I'm just like at home watching movies, too many movies, you know, neglecting like, you know, some of my tasks, you know, you get depressed, you get this sense of like, and then you don't want to go out and you don't want to go to the gym. It's like, I don't know if I like, I'll just order food in the house and I don't have to go to the store, you know, you can. And so it's like, and then, you know, it's hard to, and it's really hard to get out. And, but, you know, when you go and do these hikes, the self-discovery and this, like the reward factor of it's beyond explaining. It's like there's a sense of worth, of like there's a sense of purpose when you do these things. Like you know, you talk to some of these guys who have come from these like, you know, there's this one guy, I forget his name, but he was a swimmer, really, really talented. Like, I think he was going to go into the Olympics, but then he went to like a trip in like Southeast Asia, and anyways, he got like this really big accident where he like burned his muscle ligaments, and he was and to the point where like the doctors like, this guy isn't walking again. And, you know, really, like, talk about a depression that you'll fall into, talk about like, you know, the isolation, your whole world being this like person is gone. You're and then the story kind of goes where it's like his mom, like, you know, started after months and seeing how collapsed he's kind of feeling in himself, she's like, hey, like, I'm gonna get you walking again. And so she would put like this little ball or whatever like one step away, and so he would have to get to his wheelchair and grab that ball, and the next day it would be 2 steps, all the way to the point where this guy was running a marathon, a triathlon, winning these things. And then he was like one of the first people, there was 2 of them the same year, but he ended up doing it first, to cross Antarctica with nothing, no support, just him hauling a sled. And talk about strength, like mental power, you know, I mean, it blows me away. And I think everybody has that inside of them. I think everybody wants that, like, you know, that power, but it's just like, you know, it's that drive that also goes for it. You have to go for it. You know, you can't just want it. You gotta put in, you gotta change your way of thinking every day and make it happen, you know?
It's yes. Yes. And I think it's really that, you know, the element of having something to like go after, and knowing that, you know, you're doing something, like you're moving, you're actually going after something. I think that's that sense of purpose is what's missing for me when I'm trying to like, oh, I need to go out, I need to like work out a little better, I need to, you know I need a fresh air, but I don't really, because I've got, I've got beat making to do, I've got videos to
Yeah,
edit, things like that. But once if you have like this thing where by going out, you're doing good for your body, you're doing good for your soul and your
yeah,
mentality and all that, all the benefits that come from physical activity. um that's one thing, but another thing to not have like the actual physical uh capabilities to do certain activities. Like, I think, like, I believe I don't understand why people have to now understand why people have to train to get to like to attend these like crazy marathons. Have you heard of Tough Mudder?
yeah. I did one.
It's crazy. You did.
Yeah, they were fun. It was really, really
I
fun.
want to try it someday.
You have to. Oh my God. And honestly, like, it's
I want to try it.
fun more than anything.
Yeah, it looks
It's
fun.
fun more than anything.
Like, I want to
And
go into one of those like electrical barber things, like
yeah,
barbed wires. It looks
like you're
painful, but
crawling on the
yeah, yeah,
ground.
yeah, yeah. Like
Um,
like literally like just covered in mud.
Yeah, well, and also rock. I mean, it's like because you're just crawling through like we did it on a ski hill. Ours was on a ski hill.
Oh,
It was in
wow.
the summertime, and so you ran up the hill, and then you went through those obstacles, and then there was like you had to climb over, and you got all full of mud, and but it was a really good time. Like honestly, it was I think it was called Tough Mudder as well. It might have been like a different name because
They have different
Canadian.
variations, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's the same. It's the same way, right? It's like it almost feels like military training,
Yeah, and
but
it like there are different
in
like
a fun
obstacles
way.
that you have to go through. Yeah. Um,
Uh, so you said you want to do one of those?
I do want to do one of those. And my friend said he was going to do one of them, and I think he probably did eventually. But he said it like way before the actual tournament started, and said he was going to start training so
Uh,
that he builds uh continuously his kind of
yeah,
day by day his
endurance and yeah.
endurance for these really hard obstacles. And I see why, because it's like I've had the same experience where I was like religiously into running at one point. Um and I was like to a point
That's
where I
good
was
fun.
like getting up at like 3 in the morning and was running for like 2
3 in the
hours.
morning.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Oh my
I think I was
god.
haunted by something. I think I was haunted by
Well,
marathon ghost or
hey,
something.
a lot of really successful people wake up around like 4 a.m.
4 AM. Yes, there's something it's like yeah. It's something I think that yeah, that's a whole different matter, but, like, I was very much into running, but then I kind of got, like, off it, and then I started running again after a year or so, and then I realized I couldn't run for as long as I could, like, a year prior, not even close to as fast or, how much length I could run. Um,
When you were doing that, when you were running the way that you were,
yeah.
did you find like very like in a very positive state of mind?
I don't know, I was just like, "Fuck, this is really hard." I'm just but I think that's in a good way, you know? I think in a good way
Yeah.
because, like, it really blanks your mind out, and you can tell by the name of the show, Overthinker Society, I live in my head. This is where I live in, and it's not healthy. It's a habit that I want to break free
Oh
from.
no, no.
It's not good.
Some of the greatest minds out there lived in their heads. Some of the greatest thinkers, the greatest poets, scientists. Like there are, uh, I I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's a negative thing. I think there's a lot of people that should spend a little more time in their head and figure out a little more who they are and overthink things. It's a good thing to overthink sometimes.
Yes,
It helps.
sometimes for
It
sure.
helps make sometimes, and sometimes yeah, it can get a little too much. Sometimes you're like, turn off there, please stop.
Yeah.
But uh hey, if ever if ever we can make it work, we should try doing a Tough Mudder. I think that'd be so much fun.
I would I would die, but also gladly.
No, if you
For the
were ever running 2 hours a day in your life, you can definitely do a Tough Mudder. It's only like 5K. You can do like 10K as well, but
sounds
it's
really
not
fun.
long.
Yeah,
It's
it
more
does
fun
sound
than anything.
I would love to do Tough Mudder someday and eat some
And
mud. Like, I wanna,
just
taste some of that mud, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, no.
Maybe,
I'm
maybe not.
good. I'm good. I'll leave the mud on either my body and on the floor, but no need it in the mouth.
Are you currently based in Canada right now? I
Right
think
now
it
I'm in
is.
Cali. I've been in
California,
Canada all
okay.
year. Yeah, I've been in when COVID started, I moved back home, which was really, really cool because
Right.
for the first time since I graduated early from high school, and so I hadn't been home in like a while.
It's nice to be
And
back
or
home.
I've been home, but I hadn't been like living home, right?
Right.
But it's so nice to be home. And my brother, I'm like, so like I got four of the brothers, one little sister, and so I'm right here. And then so I got three other brothers, and they all started leaving, college, and so we all kind of separated. But because of COVID, we were all like, we
Together,
weren't all
yeah.
in the same household, but we were all in the same spot for like janvier, mars, avril, mai, juin, juillet, août, septembre, octobre, for like 8 months. So you basically, I don't know how to say it. I can say it in English, but I
They just
go.
count it on your toi.
No, it was going January, February, March.
Oh, right.
March.
Lundy, Magdi. Wait, no, that's
Monday.
Monday. Sorry. No,
Yeah, that's Monday. No, yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So you learned French. Did you like live anywhere? Is that like they spoke French? Is that why you learned, or?
Nah, I lived in the States for a few years and they made me learn. Well, they didn't make me. I chose it, obviously. But it was either Spanish or yes, it was Spanish or French, and I chose French because like I just think French is such a lovely language. Like it just sounds so like boom, like it just has that like boom sound. Like that's just so lovely.
Um,
Um,
I do love French. I agree. I think it's such a beautiful language, and I mean, and there's so many variations of it. When you start speaking it, like you can. There's so many, like where I'm from, every little community has basically their own accent, and you can be like from the north and be able to like distinguish like the southern communities if you paid attention to it. Some people don't, but
yeah, we do have the
um,
same thing in Korean. Like we have different dialects, so it's like it's different. It's sometimes it sounds completely like a different language, or sometimes it's just slight difference in tones. Uh,
yeah, it's like the Irish too. You go
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
Ireland and like people to tell you like
Don't understand
you
a
definitely
thing.
have this accent. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to impersonate an Irish accent because, like, it's a completely different language almost. Um,
Well, was English your first language?
not technically. My first language is Korean,
Korean.
but I started learning English like right after I started learning Korean as a baby. So yeah, I went to an English kindergarten called Wonderland, and they had like American teachers in Korea,
Yeah.
American teachers who like
Teaching
spoke.
English.
Yeah, just spoke to me
Yeah.
in English that I didn't understand, so I was kind of, like, half forced to try to understand as best as possible, which I think is a good learning, is a
I
good
got
learning experience for kids, especially with their malleable brains.
Well, I definitely. I mean, because it's the palate. I think what's so important is to be able to help people develop these palates young. Like
Yes.
the the Korean palate and the English. Oh, talk about two different worlds, right?
Yeah.
It's like if the French and the English, like so many French people I find who haven't like really spoken English much have a really hard time with just the way, like, just the way you pronounce the words, it's like the palate. But I had some friends who did the similar kind of thing. They went to they're in Vietnam, or you can do it in Thailand, or you can do it in China. You can do it like where like you go and exactly teach English right from
Yeah, teach English
like
abroad
kids.
kinda thing.
Yeah, and they seem to have a really fun time doing it. They get to experience a whole other world, and really immerse themselves in with the people, because you have all these relationships with the parents and the kids, and like you have like these really cool connections while you're out there as well, and then you also get to discover the areas surrounding it. So I thought that was always kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be lovely to be able to, like, earn money and travel at the same time. That's still, like that's the dream, isn't it? Um
Well, hey, this right here, Overthinkers, your podcast, like Overthinker Society, like you could literally like do it from wherever. You need a microphone and
Overthinkers tour. Yeah.
Overthinkers tour.
Just finding all sorts of overthinkers all over the world.
Kind of cool. That'd be pretty cool.
Do you travel a
Okay, tell
lot?
me
What was
like
it?
your. Sorry. Do you want to go? Can I go?
Yeah,
Can I
go
ask
for
my
it.
question?
Go for it.
Tell me what um like a really cool thought that you've had. Like it could be spiritual, it could be about planets, it could be about aliens, something
Uh,
that's like overthinking, but like that you really like enjoy thinking about.
I don't know.
Or
I think I like I don't know if this is like a cool thing or anything like that, but I've been wanting to be a sponge lately. Um, like I
a
want
beer
to
sponge?
yeah. Like but there's more to it. Like it's actually quite literal. Like I want to be a sponge, like a human sponge that like but like it
Absorbs information.
absorbs stuff, but it's a special sponge, so you don't absorb stuff that's bad for you, but you absorb only the stuff that's gonna make you grow and like turn you into a better person and, develop you as a person, spiritually or physically or whatever. Um, I don't know. That's something
You just
that's
want to take in everything that's around you, and then, well, I mean, you can identify what's good or bad, just because,
I cannot.
oh, come on,
Well, I
is
think
smoking good or bad? Cigarettes, because we know weed's fine.
I mean, cigarettes are bad for your lungs for obvious reasons.
Exactly.
But smokers would say otherwise. But
No.
yes, okay, I
Smokers
would.
agree. Smokers agree with you that it's bad for your health. It's just it's a really hard, urge to beat.
Yeah.
My grandmother smoked every single day of her life, like a few packs of cigarette, and she really tried her hardest to like stop, but it's a really thing hard to stop when it's your routine, when it's you start identifying with it, right? But you can identify bad and good things, right? But I feel you. I definitely feel you. Sponge.
Yeah.
You like being things. You said hamburger earlier.
Yeah.
So you like imagining
I
like
do.
your thing.
I guess I do. I think I want to be something else from what I am sometimes. Like if I could be reborn and I could choose what I could be.
Pick your character.
Yeah. I would probably be some sort of a character in an anime, probably. Like in an anime, like a do you watch anime by any chance? Any animations or
Closest,
cartoons?
you know what? Madison, the lead girl of our show, she taught me this year that anime stood for animation, and it was one of the biggest revelations of my life. I love cartoons. I really
Right.
love cartoons, which counts,
Which
right?
is kind of different from I would beg to differ. Like it's a little bit different. I think cartoons are like more
Goofy.
I mean, it's getting
Anime
no,
is like
not
serious story, but you can have anime that has like cinematography like nailed down in the point where they have like these transitional shots that they just like they'll move around like a movie, whereas cartoons very
kind of two-dimensional. They're kind of I feel like the
I watched
lines are getting blurred nowadays. Like I saw the Spider-Man animation, Into the Spider-Verse, I
great
think.
one.
I loved
That's
that
anime
one.
though.
Yeah, that's animation, I would say. But
Yeah.
I would say that it's one of those things that blur the lines a little bit because it's got kind of that anime thing that I can't quite pinpoint what exactly it is, but there's some sort of like a Japanese kind of feel to it. I don't know if there are any Japanese people involved in the production of it, but I don't know. I really love that movie.
And anime like came out of Japan, right?
It is by definition
Yeah.
Japanese cartoon, I think.
Oh,
Anime, the
oh my
word.
God. Isn't actually
Yeah,
like if
yeah.
it's not from Japan, it's not anime as
Well,
well?
yes,
Is that
because
what I heard?
the word anime is Japanese. I know it's
Mhm.
like it is in short for animation, but it's not an American term that derived from Americans or any English speakers. Like the word anime is an English word, but it was something that came from Japan, I believe, if I'm knowing
Mhm.
this correctly.
I vibe with that. I'll say yes. We don't know. We can
Yeah.
Google it. Who wants to Google it?
Nah, I don't want to. Do you know Google was down a few days
Gmail
ago?
is down.
Gmail was down, Google was down, YouTube was down. I was freaking out. It's massive.
I like
I
your
wonder.
microphone.
Oh, thank you. It's covered in sock.
Was that a sock?
It's a sock. It's a
I've been wondering
sock,
what it was.
and it's an infamous almost method amongst singers to cover their microphones with socks
With
instead of a
socks?
pop filter. I don't think it
Didn't
works
know that.
as I don't think it works as good as like one of those like really fluffy ones that are actually designed to prevent the popping sound from the mic, but it works and it looks pretty cool.
It looks cool. It looks like
Yeah,
an orange beanie.
it does. It does. Uh I do have like a proper sock mic that's like properly looking like an ice cream. It's probably gonna end up being like
I'm just kind of happy you didn't start the interview with that one. I don't know how. That one looks ridiculous. Look at it. Like,
but this
the
is
other
what
one
I
looks like that's one you always use for like singing, right? Music.
Yes,
And
this is what I always
yeah.
use. This is what I'm known for, my soft
The other
play.
one looks like it came like it was made orange and it was like the top. That one there, that's hilarious.
Really? I'm so
Yeah.
used to it now. It kind of looks like a drumstick almost, but I don't know. I'm kind of used to it. I don't know where I even got the inspiration to cover it with Mike from, but it's anyway, it's a very well-known method amongst singers. Like bedroom musicians. Like it's a go-to bedroom musician uh method.
Yeah.
Do you sing or record songs? Because I know you sing in Julie and the Phantoms. Do you sing any
I
of
love
your
this.
own stuff?
I have a couple of stuff, but nothing really like that all.
Nice.
I know it's right here. It's like I got my whole setup. I got my loop pedal. I got my amp. I got
Ah,
my
nice.
guitars, my mic.
Yes.
But no, I love playing music. But you know, I can't wait. That was like one of the downfalls of COVID for our show is that we had this huge plan of because for like the whole show, like we learned all of our I mean, we didn't want to just, fake it. All of us, like, we really were dedicated to like being the band that these characters are and became the band that these characters are. And we were gonna do, like these talk shows and go sing our songs and perform them as like the rock band Julie and the Phantoms and we didn't get to do that.
Yeah.
We did a couple of like COVID numbers. They were acoustic covers, which is fun because you hadn't heard these songs acoustically done. You hadn't heard these songs as acoustic versions yet.
Yeah.
So they're fun. And we like they sent us cameras that we just recorded at the house. My brother actually was the one who did my stuff, and but it wasn't like us like plugging in our amps and like jamming out for
A real audience.
for an audience.
Like yeah. I mean, I don't have any experience playing live shows. Like I don't like except for like odd, I don't know, open mic nights at coffee shops or whatever, or like, the odd, the typical school talent shows and whatnot, just being silly. But like proper shows I've never done, and it sounds so much fun. Like it sounds like it would require a lot of energy, and like I would probably have to eat a full box of donuts prior to doing a live show. But it does sound like something that would be so lovely to experience, just playing in front of a crowd.
I know, just like being able to go like, are you guys ready to party? And then they're like, yeah. And you're like,
Yeah.
Let's get this down. And just like jam out with them. And oh my God.
I mean, who's to say that we can't do that? Like once COVID is over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we will. Oh my God.
We will. We'll get there.
If it wasn't, and like, we wish we could, like, if we were together, we'd be like, we would film one ourselves. Like we would, crack open the garage, put the drum kit, the amps and everything. And we'd film like a 30-minute concert ourselves if we were together. But Oklahoma, Florida, Cali, and I forgot I was going to say Allentown, Pennsylvania. I can't believe Allentown, Pennsylvania is the one we say all the time. Madison Reyes.
Really?
Yeah. Sorry, that was like a
inside joke.
But I love playing at home though.
Yeah, just COVID, like a chilling thing, like as a self-enjoyment kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and also, I mean, you can't go play anywhere, so it's like can't go up on stage, so this is the best we can do, and it's kind of fun, like getting to just release. TikTok is like a minute long, Instagram can be as long as you want, or Reels is like 30 seconds, and so you get to share with the people. They all want to. A lot of the folks want some of my originals and stuff, but right now I'm just I'm focusing on Julie and the Phantoms. as like our band, and then eventually I'll release some things as Charlie.
Oh
But
yeah. Is that like the long-term kind of dream for now? Just kind of as a
well, acting's always
branching.
been like my
Right.
dream. But I can't get enough of performing for people. Like I love just singing with people, then them singing along, and then just that interaction of being on stage and the people being in the crowd. Like I love that. I think it's so, like there's so much adrenaline behind it,
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
you don't like getting on stage?
I don't know, but I think I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, you will.
One thing that I know for sure is that my first show is gonna suck ass. It's gonna be really bad.
Sorry, it popped out. No, that's a lie. It's not gonna suck ass. You're
Well,
full of it.
I kind of take comfort in the fact that I'm gonna mess up the first time, and I'll probably warn the audience in advance that this show is gonna like really suck, but like in a good way, you know. I wouldn't. It's not like I wouldn't try my best or anything, uh, but I feel like it's like it's all part of the development and all part of getting to learn oneself as a creator or performer or an artist. I think first time's always gonna be the worst one. But it could, be fun. Not that's not to say it's not gonna be fun, but uh
Yeah.
I would love to try performing live someday. I hope we both do. And I get a
Yeah.
feeling that we will. I get a feeling that this is gonna like people aren't
Hey,
gonna be able to hold on for much longer in this state.
even if it's not people that were like, paying to see me play, I'm gonna play for them anyways. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna show up. It might be it might be some totally like random event, like like someone's birthday party in the park. But I'll show
A
up my
little
guitar.
busking party. Yeah. Do it with a big sock microphone and
I want to busk. I've always really
yeah,
wanted to do that.
busking
You
is
ever?
I've never busked before, but I think I would have such a fun blast doing it. Like, but I used to live in the UK and they have loads of buskers there. They have loads and
Yeah.
loads and loads because they don't have as many restrictions as they do, I think, in the States, like especially like New York
But
areas where
yeah,
they only
here you need like a permit to go,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. But I think in the UK, the restrictions are a little more loose, and they have sectors within
Hmm.
the city where you can just perform without any limits, as long as you're not like being a nuisance to making like crazy noise to the nearby
Yeah.
people. So I've seen a lot of buskers from a distance, and there's all sorts of performance. They're like performance who like spit fire. Or I don't. It was
Yeah, that's
like
cool.
juggle knives and stuff like that. And obviously the traditional buskers like singing and playing instruments. It's gonna be. It sounds like a
I
lot. It
like
looks
street
like a lot of
performers.
fun.
Street
Me too.
performers are fun. There's a lot of them on Hollywood Boulevard, and like the dance ones are always cool. With to get like a bunch of tourists to come and they do a big circle around it, and they're like, there's a lot of people that show up for these big ones, and then they're like jumping on top of each other, and like they like
Flash
line up
mobs
six
are
people, and they're like,
always get
oh,
me.
flash
They
mobs.
always get me. Like
Why
whenever
was
I
that a
see
thing for like the late 2000s, early 2010s? And then it's like, we don't do it anymore. There used to be a TV show, remember? It was like the flash mob one where they would propose in flash mobs. Do you remember
I
that?
not sure if I watched that one, but I remember the best flash mob scene. Obviously, this is a production thing, like a movie production, but Dance Off, there was like a movie called like something Dance.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
yeah, yeah. I
and
know what
they
you're talking about.
yeah, yeah, it's like a whole series of dancing
Yeah.
people and
My sister
they
knows.
always do like super cool flash mobs at like museums or like in the
Yeah,
middle of the
yeah.
streets. It's just so cool.
Well, I
Um
think that one there was actually called Flash Mob. Like there
oh
was
really?
one of the dance ones. I think they were like probably the same people who made the dance off ones. It's not dance off, but
It was something like
anyway,
street dance or something, like something with
yeah,
a
yeah.
word dance
Like
in it.
Channing Tatum was in like the early ones.
Yes,
Remember that?
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Um,
Crap, I forgot. It was
but
like
but there was one that was called Flash Mob, or I think it was called that. I think it was
okay,
called that. Yeah. It's a
okay.
problem when we don't do it live because usually we'd have the answer by now from one of like the fans.
Hopefully flash mobs will come back once the pandemic's over. That people will have realized now that shit, we need more experiences like these. We need more like mass people
Oh my
experiences, and people
God.
start getting into flash mobs again and crazier live performances and gatherings.
Oh, I'm going to every music festival next summer.
I've
Let
never
me
been to a
tell you
festival.
that.
I've never been to a festival.
You have to. Oh my God, there's a whole world
Yeah,
outside you
I
don't
know.
even know about. I'm telling you, music festivals, the shit. They
I
are
can't
so much fun.
I can't wait
Oh,
to go to my first music festival and pee in one of those like
porta
portable
potties.
toilets. Yeah,
Have you
it'd be an
never peed
experience.
in a porta potty before?
I have never, and I'm missing out.
Honey, you gotta live. No, trust me, you're not excited about the porta potty. Be excited about the people on stage. Be excited about the
For
pit
sure.
of people. Like it's just like you're in this pit, and it's like everyone's just like like everyone's just like jamming out, and like then you start like it's so much fun, and everyone's like vibing with the music. They're all on the same
Yeah, just
tempo,
into the music and just getting into it. Yeah, that
And
is
there's a
really the most
difference. If you go to a straight just like
gig, like a
EDM
live
one
show.
that has like
Oh,
EDM/rap
yeah.
versus like one that has a mix, there are differences. So you'll
Mm.
find like different types of festivals too. One's called the rave, and the other one's called a
I have
festival.
heard about the rave. And I also want to go to like one of those funky ones like Burning Man and stuff like that someday.
Oh yeah. Well, Burning Man is more of a celebration of like I think of life, and like
And
they have
art,
like little
yeah.
concerts out there, and art, and that's what I just like twisted something. Like that's what
Oh.
Burning Man really is. I haven't been, but I've seen. I can't wait one day. One day I'll go. What? Yeah, they didn't do it this year, but
No, probably not.
they're in Toronto. Veld.
Oh, in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I actually thought it was like in California, like the desert regions. I don't know
Oh
if California has
no no no
desert.
no 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 no. Burning Man. Burning Man is California.
Oh, right,
Just saying, it's
okay.
in Toronto. One like the one that I really really enjoy is called Veld.
Okay.
And Montreal has Osheaga and Ilsonic.
Oh, that sounds fancy.
It's not.
It does
I'm
sound
kidding.
fancy to non-French
You don't
speakers.
show up in a suit. Let me tell you that.
But this was fun, Charlie. Thanks for coming on. This was a fun conversation. I think I'm gonna go out, try to exercise more. I got some inspiration from you for that. Thank you.
Do it. Go for hikes. Tell
I
me
will.
if you end up going like, look at this. Every time I put my thing forward, then just like a little tooth of hair. It makes me laugh. Yeah, no, you should definitely go on some hikes, and don't be shy from like the overnight ones. It could just be a single night, but they're a good time.
Okay.
Get some friends.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys have a good hiking in Korea?
It's usually not like as intense as like an overnight one, but people do go on intensive hikes like for a day. We do have a
Well, you
lot of
guys have
mountains in
big
Korea.
animals. You have like some scary
I think we
animals.
have bears, like pretty big bears, like grizzly bears.
Well, we got bears.
We got snakes. We haven't got like, gigantuous spiders like Australia does.
Yeah.
But we do have animals. We have like squirrels. But it's just fun,
Oh, we have
Charlie.
these really scary things called a mouse.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, like
Oh,
like rats or mouse. Mice are cute. Mice are cute, but rats are like they
That's
just
just
like
too
they're
big.
it's a monster. I've never seen a rat in real life, but I've seen pictures of it. I'm like, that's not what an animal should.
Overthink this. Overthink this the next time that you're just like wandering in your thoughts. Our way of living, like our big cities and the way that we collect our garbage and all this stuff. Look at the type of animals that it promotes, and look at the type of animals that it neglects. So like rats and mice and raccoons and seagulls. They thrive in these massive areas, right? Whereas, more countryside or more, not even suburban, because that doesn't really do it. But, like, it's not like these beautiful birds or, like
Squirrels.
like even back home, like you have something for squirrels, don't you?
That's the only animal that I can think of right now.
We have like foxes in our backyard and deers and like
The peaceful creatures, yeah.
porcupines, very peaceful. And once in a while, like a bear, like not in our backyard, but there's been bears in our city, like just show up and we're like, where does this bear come from? Or like moose or like, but what I'm saying is like, think about that. Think about what we promote, what our cultures promote. Anyways, that food for thought.
I'll do. Thank you.
To overthink.
Thanks, Charlie. This is fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it was really fun.
Thank you. Fun. Have a nice day.
Are we turning it off?
I think I will.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
Wait, no, well, I won't. Okay.